Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. I'm in Miami. Today is January the 6th, 2021. Strong hand, long-term thinking. Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin. This game is not rigged. Compete, don't complain. Conviction, be a unique beast. I'm offended by selling. Fitting in is overrated. Okay, you fiat freaks and you Bitcoin holders, how you doing? Hello, my elite friends. Check out This Week in Bitcoin. It was great on Friday. And check out Monday's show. I'll put that in the live chat in a second. I'm in a rush here. It'll be a longer than 10-minute show, though. I want to go running. I haven't gone running in Miami. I'm in the middle of my 44-hour fast, so I want to go run, then eat, and, do all that thing. This Friday, This Week in Bitcoin. Pay attention. Listening comprehension. You guys asked for this guy. He's coming back on Friday. JW Weatherman will be on the show. Noon, Miami time, Baltimore time, New York time, DC time, whatever you want to say. Hey, since we've got time today, a little bit of time, you can ask questions and just type in Proud Zionist Jew. Yeah, we're on the freaking backup channel. You know how we roll around here. All right. Or how YouTube arbitrarily rolls around here. Now, remember, guys, there are people that we're like during the show, we're hitting an all-time high. It just got over $36,000. And it's so odd because back in November, when we were at $18,000, if you said, hey, Adam, it's going to double in less than a month, I would be like, yeah, I'd be going crazy. But right now, I'm pretty darn calm, aren't I? I'm calm for me. So, I mean, it's fun. I mean, this is what we expected over time. But people are tempted. You're so impulsive. People are like, well, why shouldn't I sell now? I mean, people were asking me at 33,000, should I sell now and take some profits? Dude, do you want to be a cuck to the IRS? Be a cuck to the IRS. This is a savings account. Do you sell your savings account every? You don't even have any savings accounts, do you? You don't have any savings. You don't. If you have a question like that for me, should I sell now? You do not understand. You do not comprehend what savings is. You don't understand that the United States government is about to print up a lot of checks. Okay. I mean, I don't know what you're thinking exactly here, but it's a saving. It's a long-term thinking, deferral gratification. It's not something you willy-nilly go back. I mean, I actually, all you see is people trading and being impulsive, and you fall for it. You want to fit in. Dude, look what I have done. Look what I did. I was a trader. I just bought, buy and hold. And it's treated me very, 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 very well, right? I'm just in Miami doing whatever the heck I'm doing. All right, now, so pound that like button, people. It's just offended by selling, offended by these sayings, okay? These are not just sayings. They are ways of life, okay? This is a way of life that has brought me so much wealth. It is unbelievable. I'm not one of those guys, I'll teach you my trading technique for $300. No, I'm like, here's some simple information. It's freaking 2015. Buy 10 Bitcoin. You will be happy. And what happened? If you bought 10 Bitcoin in 2015, are you happy now? Well, if you didn't sell it, you're darn happy. All right, now, if you sold it, you're crying. Now, let's go to some current events and tie these current events into Bitcoin. Our buddy Nick Carter says the Dems just won an election thanks in large part to the stimulus. You think they're going to be able to turn it off? No, they're not going to be able to turn it off. And yes, he has a point. The Georgia elections, which the Democrats won, unbelievably, in a state that, what year did they vote for George Wallace in, for God's sakes? I mean, it was like less than 50 years ago, or it was either in 68 or 72. I don't know. But so now they're socialists down there. And no, it wasn't a good thing to vote for George Wallace for the reason they were voting for George Wallace. But the point is now they want their free money, okay? Everybody wants their darn check. The 80%ers, they don't care. They value their wealth in dollars. They are fiat freaks. They don't know about what an asset is, okay? So Nick is correct. There's going to be a lot of money printed. And all the people running for office, they're are they going to say no to stimulus checks? Are they going to say no to UBI? So what do we have here? The Bitcoin price is going up on all this news because there's smart people out there that understand this. Why are you holding on the dollars? Why do you want to go into dollars? Some of you ask, why don't I sell my Bitcoin? I've just given you a really good reason why. Because the dollars aren't scarce, okay? They're becoming less and less scarce. Now, all these cucks out there that want to fit in, they're going to keep, the dollar will still be the world reserve currency, okay? Because they will listen. I made a show about this the other day. The media will say, no, there's no inflation going on. And they will say, and the cucks will say, no, there is no inflation going on. They will agree. They will say whatever the media, they'll believe whatever the media tells them to believe and whatever makes them feel nice and happy and just, oh, look, the wealth gap is closing because all the poor people are getting checks. No, it isn't. But who cares about the wealth gap anyway? Trust me, it's the people who have real assets, the wealthy, me, Jeff Bezos, whoever, we are going to be the ones benefiting from this because you're inflating the value of our assets. The ones that you have no assets, you're getting checks and then you're blowing it on nonsense, okay? Blowing it on non-assets. And you cry and cry and cry more and you just get wrapped up in this whole political thing, all right? So for me, I'm not happy with the results of the Georgia election, but I see that I'm going to get richer off of this thing. And that a bunch of 80%ers are still going to want their value their wealth in dollars. And so the dollar isn't going anywhere. It's not going to be worth as much. It's not something to hold on to at all, but it's better than all the other nonsense currencies that are out there, the fiats that are out there. So, yeah. It's have fun being addicted to the dollar, have fun staying poor, and have fun watching us get wealthier here in the Bitcoin overlay. And you don't have to be in here. No one's forcing you into the Bitcoin overlay. You can say, Adam, I don't believe you. I'm going to sell my Bitcoin for fiat. You can do that. You can do that. Okay, but I would first go back to my old shows where Bitcoin was $200, $300, $600, $500, and see what I was saying then, see what I'm saying now, and see how my system has worked, see how what I have said hasn't changed a bit, what conviction means, what actually having a philosophy and standing for something means, and you can decide if you want to be willy-nilly, wishy-washy, impulsive, and whatnot. We'll talk about altcoin impulsive people in a second. Pound that like button. Let me just see if there are any questions there. We got, hey, Monday show when I'm still in beautiful Phoenix is in the chat for you guys watching this live. George Wallace ran in 64, 60, and 72 presidential. Yeah, but he was a Dixie. What year was he Dixiecrat? And he actually got electoral votes. And who cares now? But the point is, Georgia isn't that Georgia anymore, and America isn't that America anymore, and the people aren't self-starters anymore. In every state, we have so many more people who are dependent. That is the point. That is the point. All right, so retweet this also. We have the tweet, and I see Johnny NY is in the house too. Okay. So yeah, and Sunship, if it was 72, then it was less than 50 years ago. Less than 50. Things can change a lot in 50 years. Things can do a lot in 50 years. Okay. But yeah, what year did he win the Okay, it does. He won electoral votes as a Dixiecrat, as a third freaking party, okay? Now, and yes, what he stood for, why he left the Democrat Party was not, no, that wasn't a good thing. That was not a good thing. We won't get into that now. But yeah, I mean, the Georgians now eat up whatever's on TV. You need a check. I mean, it's not just the Georgians. It's everybody. It's so many people in America. 80% of America thinks it's necessary to get a check for the government. No. What's necessary is to let businesses be open everywhere so people have their jobs. Okay. What was unnecessary was the government interfering with the free market. Okay. That's the solution. Just end all the lockdowns. You don't need checks. Let people work. But people have forgotten the art of working and productivity, and that productivity and innovation create wealth, not the government writing you a freaking check. But most people don't understand that. So in the Bitcoin overlay, we will be creative and productive and own our Bitcoin. All right. Now, 28 Bitcoin make you a millionaire. Down that like button. 28. Now, I mean, that's amazing. I mean, watch one of my old shows and then say that, and just you'll know why I'm so darn happy. All right, now, so I guess what 280 Bitcoin make you an 8-digit realm person if you're a fiat freak. And let's see, best freaking guest in the space. Remember that, people. You guys want JW? Just don't scream for JW and then ask me 3 months later, why hasn't JW been on your show lately? He was just on my show on this coming Friday. So pay attention, listening comprehensive. I'm telling you to watch on noon at noon on Friday if you want JW. And many of you won't. Many of you can't get it through your heads. Many of you, you'll forget whatever. And so yeah, JW is so great that you completely forget about it. All right. And I like JW a lot, but I'm just showing the typical mentality of the people. They're like, why haven't you had this person on your show lately? And they don't watch the show. Okay. I said on a recent show of mine, well, I mean, you can see sometimes it's during the night, sometimes it's during the weekend, and we have these huge these spikes. Okay, there are buyers out there that are just trying to hide themselves. They don't want to do it during the middle of the day because it's going to cost them more. Now, again, the spike that we're having right now in the middle of the day, I mean, it's clearly on the news of what's going on in Georgia and just maybe what's going on in the Capitol. Okay, it's the elite people, the smart people, and you're elite. You're my elite friends. Don't put a negative spin on the word elite. Be proud of being elite. But the elite people strive to be elite. The elite people out there, and it doesn't take that much to be elite. You just have like reason. They're seeing that a lot of dollars are going to be printed up. So yeah, let's start buying now. Okay, it's totally signed, sealed, and delivered that there's going to be a lot. That the Senate is going to be Democrat. It's going to be a lot more money printing than had the Senate been Republican. So, but that's why. But some of this time during at nighttime and on weekends and on holidays, we have these buyers that are trying to big buyers. They're just trying to buy during off hours. I mean, we even had Michael Saylor try to explain what he was doing with Coinbase at one time. They were buying at weird times, and okay. But I said it would be great if the latest whale and another insane Coinbase outflow, 35,000 in Bitcoin, institutional FOMO buying. This happened on the weekend when someone took 35,000 Bitcoin off of Coinbase, and I was like, who the heck is this? Who is this person? Who is this entity? Well, it comes out that One River makes one of the largest cryptocurrency trades in history, and they admitted it, and that was good news. The market liked that. They said we bought it, so they revealed themselves. So I said if the secret buyer reveals themselves, and there might have been other secret buyers too, it'll be good for the market. And on that note, before they revealed themselves, Zach Bowl makes a little joke. I survived the Bitcoin bear market of January 4th, 2021. Pound that like button. So Monday, you guys saw it. People were spazzing out that it went to $28,000, went down to $28,000. Okay. Woe is me. It was just a fluke. People are back to work. Blah blah blah. And even some of the mainstream media said Bitcoin drops 20%, whatever it was, and it was just for a few seconds. And now we're at all-time highs again. Okay, because logic and reason take over. Don't be impulsive. Don't cry when it goes down below 30. Okay, all right. If you're a long-term thinker, if you're a long-term thinker, you know that this is not a company. This is more than even a freaking currency. Okay, so thus it will be worth more than Apple one day. Apple is worth $2.1 trillion. What does that mean? Do the math. That means Bitcoin will be worth in the 6-digit realm one day. Pound that like button. I don't like using that term because I don't want to, I'm superstitious because I'm a little I got baseball superstition in my head. When you're not supposed to mention a no-hitter in the middle of the no-hitter. So that's why I don't like saying that term. I do like saying 5-digit realm because we already were there. We were there. I told you to get used to the 5-digit realm. I told you that once that presidential election was, the nastiness was gone from that. Okay, once we cleared that a few days afterwards, we knew that this loser was going to become president. The senile old man was going to become president, and his whore running mate was going to become the vice president. Once we knew that, we knew that the 4-digit realm was just a thing of the past, and that the same 5-digit realm was a freaking way of life. That's what I was telling you. So yeah, congratulations, you survived the bear market of of January 4th, 2021. There'll be other quote unquote bear markets this year when it drops for a week or a day or whatever. But dude, this is 2017 on steroids, baby. And I want to bring it up right now because a lot of you weren't here. I think we're seeing now, and I could be wrong. We're going to have to live through this year, but we are seeing what a big role the scaling debate and Roger Ver and Bcash played on the Bitcoin price especially in the spring of 2017. It was going up, but it was going up pretty slow. And then once the uncertainty was out of the way, it went wild after August 1st. I mean, it was like 3,000 one day. I mean, that was like the first time it hit 3,000 in August of 2017. And then it was like 5,000 and it's 6,000, 7,000. It went crazy after that. Kind of like what it's doing now. But it was a lot later in the cycle. So one has to wonder if that FUD really kept the price of Bitcoin down at this point in the cycle in 2017, which would correspond roughly to March and April of 2017. The Bitcoin was like going from, I mean, it got its all-time high, like 1,200, but it would get close to 2,000, and it was kind of boring. There was a lot of worry. And I think we're seeing now that this is the way it should have been. What's going on now with price doublings from November to now, which I could not have predicted. I did not foresee at all. I was basing it totally on the beginning of 2017. People, but Bitcoin was smaller then. The whole ecosystem was smaller then. So a guy like Roger and Bcash and Jihan and scaling debates, that could have an effect. And now we're seeing this is the way it should have been. But hey, at least we get to live through it. So there's a little theory of mine. And I want to say, being in Miami, and this might just be due to the spirit of Florida, that there's still free thinkers down here, and that the free thinking and the freedom loving corresponds to Bitcoin holders. Of all the metro areas that I've gone to, I mean, over the last few years, this is the area where the most people are asking to see me and to hang out with me. Just right away. I have people, and some of them I've met before in various different places. Some of them I have not met before, are saying they want to hang out. They want to have a client meeting with me and stuff. And just, it's very interesting. And when I was flying over Tampa, we stopped in Tampa. It was Phoenix to Tampa, then Tampa to here. I know, strange. Tampa, I saw traffic jam. I could see from the air. It was around 6 p.m. You could see the traffic. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm so glad to be in a state where people aren't scared. I'm sure there are plenty of scared people out there. And I do want to go running. But yeah, I just want to point that out, that we got some Bitcoiners down here, and they're pretty hardcore. They want to hang with me, and that's awesome. And I will be here at least until March the 8th. So I do hope to see the people that want to hang out, and you all know who you are. And I really needed a good night's sleep last night, and I pretty much got one. And if you missed me yesterday, if you didn't think I was around, I was on TikTok. My TikTok is linked to below. It's some pretty mindless stuff. It's reaching out to a mindless cohort, and they don't have to necessarily be mindless. I've had fun making the videos, to tell you the truth. I've had a lot of fun making them because I get to really exude my energy. But it's not like you're going to get any great insights from it. You're going to get some basics, like I said, Bitcoin won the election. Bitcoin won the Georgia election. Bitcoin is the true winner of the Georgia election, indeed. If you understand what that means, and I explained what that means at the beginning, you're going to do pretty well for yourself. So another thing I've gained from the TikTok experience, okay, because it is impulsive and short attention span, there are just a lot of people there that don't think much, and they can become thinkers. I'm not saying it's like over for them, but they treat these, I've gotten some insight into the altcoins, okay, over there, because a lot of the people over there, I mean, they consider Bitcoin just like any coin, like Dogecoin, Bitcoin, same thing. I talk about Bitcoin, they're like, well, why haven't you invested in Dogecoin? What do you think of Dogecoin? Even though in another video I rip on Dogecoin, I say it's a joke, they still think, they should diversify for the sake of diversification. And they don't care about the economic basics, all right? They're not into, they're clearly not into deferral gratification. What they want to be traders, that's another thing. They're into glamour. They're into, like, they treat it like a sports team. there's a lot of tribalism around these altcoins, okay? Just like, this is my team. I want my team to do well. Yeah. Yeah, Doge. Yeah, Stellar. Yeah, I can't believe these things I'm hearing about. And yeah, it's young retail investors are always going to pump up these altcoins, okay? They're always going to be out there. And yeah, you gain some insight into that mindset. It's not a complicated mindset at all. And yeah, it's just, it gives you, if you're already elite in the Bitcoin and you see that, you just know how rare you are. You know how rare you are. Most people default into this, like, let's treat it like a sports team tribalism of coins. So yeah, I said we talked about 36,000. Let's talk about Dash real quick. Dash, I'm very surprised Turdemeester used this language that he's using. And for those of you who were not around in 2016, Monero versus Dash people, it was the privacy coin battle. Dash said they were a privacy coin then. And Monero would say, you're not really a private. And they would go back. Dash became the #3 cryptocurrency at one point, okay? Now only Monero is talking about being private. I give them credit. So this is what Turdemeester says. Typical scam coin behavior. For years, Dash promoted itself as having better privacy than Bitcoin. Its original name was Darkcoin, and I remember that. With just a tinge of regulatory pressure, they flip-flop and are magically able to tell the truth. And this is what they said, and I will link to this below. Not everything's linked to below yet. From a technical standpoint, this is what Dash does. From a technical standpoint, Dash's privacy functionality is no greater than Bitcoin's, making the label of privacy coin a misnomer for Dash. We have reached out to Bittrex Exchange to request a meeting with their compliance team. Hopefully this will be rectified soon. So yeah, a little bit of regulatory pressure, no, we're not a privacy coin anymore. We were never a privacy coin. And the funny thing is, people were saying about them back then. Hey man, this is why you don't get into this stuff. They're the number 36 coin. Bitcoin is next Bitcoin. Amanda came on my show saying we're trying to be the next Bitcoin. Okay, no, it failed. It failed. But people forget they were into their baseball team, or their football team Dash. Now then sometimes they switch to another one. You know, they're fair weather fans in the tribalism world too. Yeah, they don't know about unconfiscatable, uncensorable, unflatable. They know about, my team's better than your team type of thing. These are very important concepts to understand when you're into Bitcoin. Okay, the other coins don't have that. They have, let's play baseball, man, or Richard Hart's smart or something. I mean, some gimmick. Now, Ethereum is different. We're going to talk about that. Ethereum is the next Ethereum, but it does some pretty darn cool things. It's got a lot of people into it, a lot of developers, but it's not uncensorable. I mean, we have Ethereum Classic. I guess, I'm not going to get into the unconfiscatable aspects of it, but it's not maybe it'll be uninflatable soon. I don't know. There's question, and it's somewhat centralized with their leader and everything, and they could change on a dime. It's not the security truth machine, but they're going from proof of work to proof of stake. Okay, and it's done over time, and they decide. And you don't know what other type of changes they might make. Nothing is set in stone over in Ethereum, but Ethereum is still the next Ethereum, and people in Silicon Valley love it. And let's talk about I would say Alistair Milne is a Bitcoin firster at the very least, if not a Bitcoin maximalist. I don't like to, tag people with. He's not part of the Bitcoin Inquisition, I'll tell you that, because he realizes, like I realize, Ethereum is at $1,200. It is complete destiny now. Bitcoin has already reached its all-time high, all right, in terms of fiat. Ethereum is going to reach its all-time high in terms of fiat. Is it going to reach its all-time high in terms of Bitcoin? I think that was like 15% of a Bitcoin or something. It spiked up to 12% at one point. I don't know about that, but it's going to it is total destiny that Ethereum at $1,200 right now, I think, is going to very soon, reach its all-time high in terms. So the title of this thing says Ethereum all-time high. It hasn't reached it yet in terms of dollars. It will. It will get back. I think it's 1,400 or something like that. And so with that assumption in mind, and I think it's a pretty good assumption, let's say, and take note that Bitcoin and Ethereum have been pretty much side by side for a while. One goes up, the other goes up. They follow. Some people are saying that Bitcoin is following Ethereum. I'm not going to get totally into that argument right now. But assumption one, this is from Alistair Melanie. Ethereum is going to test its all-time high. And from when he posted this, I think it was yesterday, 26% from here. Bitcoin will appreciate approximately the same amount. Result, $42,800 Bitcoin. Pound that like button. So what does the Ethereum all-time high in terms of fiat mean for Bitcoin? He's saying $42,800 for Bitcoin. So if it's destiny that Ethereum is going to get to its all-time high, then it's destiny that Bitcoin is going to get to $42,800 when that occurs. So I think that's a good theory. I wanted to share that with all of you. Ethereum has just entered the top 100 of the world's largest assets. That's an asset dash. I don't think I've linked to that below, but I will. And here, I just want to remind you about the Ethereum Pump. Another factor that has been affecting the Ethereum Pump. We just talked of proof of work to proof of stake that's going on. You need at least 32 Ethereum in your portfolio to participate in the staking Ethereum. Higher stakes receive higher privileges. People love this staking stuff. They are buying. It's just, I mentioned this on a show from during the summer, or when I found out that you needed 32. There's just going to be a lot of people trying to get their hands on 32 Ethereum, and that boosts up the price. This is not about Joe Schmoes buying one or two at a time. This is, buying 32 at a time. I mean, that's right now. That's like buying one Bitcoin. Okay, buying over one Bitcoin. You do the math. Okay, no, it's like buying over one Bitcoin at a time. 32 times 1,200 is whatever. It's obviously way over 32,000. Okay, now, we talked about the scaling debate, and let's do a flashback to 2017. We talked about Bcash. There was a South Korean FOMO in 2017. Okay, they like to gamble over there. I had a beautiful time in Seoul and Busan. I had a great, awesome host in a beautiful man in terms of his hospitality. He's a handsome man in Seoul. It took me around Seoul, and I met some Bitcoin players there. It was awesome, and I was at a Bitcoin meetup. By the way, everywhere on Earth where you go to a Bitcoin meetup, they speak English. I've not been to one where even in freaking Seoul, and it's unfortunate not enough Koreans understand English. I think because they would better understand that you should not be gambling on altcoins. And that was the place where I got the famous IOTA question. What do you think of IOTA? And where I knew IOTA was the flavor of the month. But no, the South Koreans are FOMOing again. Okay, there's they call it the kimchi, premium, the kimchi premium. People are paying more for Bitcoin. And so that's a sign of retail getting excited. They're usually a little late to the party. The South Koreans should have been getting in, back in November, but never too late. But it's a good sign. Welcome back, South Koreans. You're going wild. And maybe you're. Hey, it's still early, dudes. Don't try to diversify for the sake of diversification, even though I know you guys will, unfortunately. And that's partially because they're kind of in their own little bubble over there. And some of these altcoin guys do reach out to them pretty well. And they'll get into DeFi, no doubt about it. So Pump retweets something from Jack Mallers. Jack Mallers has his product Strike. I mean, good. He's creating. It's awesome. It's awesome that he's created something on the Lightning with the Lightning Network, and like, what's his face here? Pump is going crazy because Pump invested in it. Pump can invest in it because he's a approved of investor. Okay, what's the correct term there? Certified investor based on in the United States. I have it written down here. He's an accredited investor. Okay, he's a rich man. Pump is rich. He's an accredited investor, so he can invest in companies like this. And I think it's a great company. I think it's a great idea. I love that he's being productive and that you're going to be able to send the $100 that immediately to Europe and it'll be whatever amount of euros, and it's going to be done through the Lightning Network. It's great. It's going to make trade more efficient. It's going to make a lot more things more efficient if it scales up, if it gets picked up. And yeah, his company probably will be worth a lot of money. But all these people in the thread, okay, all these people in the thread are like, how do I invest? How do I invest in it? I want to invest in it. I want to. Dudes, you can't. You're not an accredited investor. The whole point of Bitcoin was getting into something that's better than all these companies, and you don't need to be an accredited investor. I made a video back in 2015. Imagine getting in on a Facebook or Google pre-IPO. The only people that can do that are all the so-called one percenters that you hate, okay? And so Bitcoin gave the opportunity to basically be an accredited investor for Bitcoin. But now all these people who, so let me tell you, how do you invest in Jack Mallers' company? You buy Bitcoin. It's based on the Lightning Network. You buy Bitcoin. That is how you do it, okay? Don't try to complicate things. You're going to make insane mistakes. You're clearly not focused if you're like, oh, I want to throw my money into this company. No, the company could totally fail. Bitcoin is not going to totally fail. Bitcoin is going to be successful. If Jack is successful with Lightning Network and Lightning Network, Bitcoin is going to also be doing well too. So how do you invest in Jack Mallers' company? And Strike, you buy Bitcoin. That's all. Don't worry about it. Don't try to you're not an accredited investor. That's the beauty. I thought that we moved on from this type of thing. I thought most people haven't. I have. I don't want to get, when I hear about the latest stock, the latest company, I'm not thinking to myself, oh, wow, I wish I could invest in that company. No, I'm so happy that I invested in Bitcoin when it was $200 and $500, $700. I mean, and that, right, still to this day, this is like being an accredited investor. All these people crying, oh, I wish I was an accredited. It's unfair they could be accredited investors. That's gone. You're crying, buying Bitcoin over crying about that old paradigm. But you want to be stuck in this old paradigm still, some of you. Pound that like button. Now, all right. So I talked about, and go to Parler. I'm posting on Parler every day. I am Bitcoin Meister on there. Crypto Parler. Use the hashtag for all you people crying about traditional social media. There's your alternative social media. Wow, the sun is going to set here in 45 minutes, and I'm going to go running, and I've never gone running here before, so that'll be interesting. It's a great neighborhood. I'm in like Coral Gables or something like that. It's not like it's unsafe. I want to see beautiful Miami. I don't want to run in the dark, but yeah, you're getting this show, dudes. Okay. And so Ripple has the other shoe dropped? Not yet, but I warned all you guys. Grayscale, and I told you, smart money is going to do this, and Grayscale is smart money. Grayscale sells all XRP and large cap fund for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I also talked about how that the fall of Ripple will help Bitcoin because that money the smart people shouldn't convert it into Georgia election cash that you bribe Georgia people with. Like, hey, I'm a corrupt pastor, but I'm going to give you a check. that actually works. I mean, but instead of believing in that type of money, you believe in Bitcoin. So if you were foolish enough to have XRP, like unfortunately Grayscale was, you turn it into Bitcoin. You don't turn it into pastor cash. All right, you turn it into pastor. We're talking about a preaching pastor. When I think about the dollar, I think about the cash. The turds you find on the ground in the pasture. That's the dollar, basically. But it's better than the other. Again, it's better than the other fiats. What would the other fiats be like? They'd be arsenic or something. They'd be totally. You'd rather hold a cow excrement than hold arsenic, right? Yeah. Okay. But I don't even worry about these things. If I happen to be foolish enough to have a terrible cryptocurrency, I'm not going to turn it into cow manure. I'm going to turn it into the tip of the top Bitcoin. That is what these Grayscale guys have done. And if they're out there still, if these institutions still hold on to this nonsense for the sake of diversification for the sake of diversification, it's going into Bitcoin. More so now than ever. Why would you buy cow manure with it? But the other shoe is going to drop. And yeah, there are. It's very tribalistic out there in altcoin land. There are some guys in XRP, Ripple, whatever you want to call it. They want their baseball team to win the World Series. They want the Packers to win the Super Bowl, and so they're just buying it, and they're not going to get they're going to get the last cry. Okay, it's these big institutions. They're getting the last laugh. Now, stable coin here. This was from the Block Crypto. They had a really good year-end article. I'll link to it below. And one thing that they were talking about, the difference between 2019 and 2020, the amount of addresses holding, and this is sad, in stable, the amount of stablecoin addresses holding more than $100 grew 200% from 284,000 to 843,000. So that's really disappointing to me. I mean, that's great that, you know, stablecoin growth is good for the ecosystem, but dudes, there were, I mean, why were you holding stablecoins anyway? You were holding $100 worth of stablecoins, and now there's 4 times as many people doing that than beforehand. Okay, you should be. Why are people holding it that much? You're valuing that is the ultimate in valuing your wealth in dollars. That you have. Well, that's not a large quantity of money, but a real quantity of money in stablecoins. There are more people doing that than ever. More people doing that than ever. Okay. Bitcoin is my stablecoin. Now, again, you're going to say, well, they've got to trade it. They got to do, yeah, they're playing games. And while they're waiting, and some of those people are just waiting around, treating it as a bank, what's happening to the value of their stablecoin during all this holding of over $100 worth of it? It's going down the toilet. They're not going to be able to buy as much Bitcoin with it like they thought they were. Okay. They're not going to be able to buy as much of a house as they thought they were if they're doing it. So that's the way of the world. I mean, the dollar has many factors. Just people are ingrained. They grew up with a philosophy, the dollar is king, and they're just all these reinforcing factors that, and they buy into it. They fit in. Of course, a stable coin is great. It's stable. It's not stable in terms of what it can buy. And then we have the worst of the people are just like, I love government checks. And yes, the dollar is awesome because I get paid government checks in it. All right, that is it. Let me just see if there were any questions here. Johnny said he loves my quotes. And Brian is in the house. Brian Jacoto, who was on Friday's This Week in Bitcoin show, the first of the year, linked to below. I love how every one of these decentralized, quote unquote, decentralized privacy coins have a readily ascertainable team that can speak for the entire project, negotiate with exchanges, etc. That's so good, man. You are a smart guy. That's why he's a lawyer. That's why I have the freaking best guest in the space on my show. But a lot of people aren't going to be able to grasp what he even just said then. Some people will never get the difference between decentralized and centralized. Roman Q says, yesterday I proudly sold a chair on Craigslist, and today I bought the all-time high. Destigmatized buying the all-time high. We're just getting started, baby. It should be and that's great. That's great right there. It should be destigmatized because every single person in the past who's bought at the all-time high is in profit now. Because Bitcoin always returns to its all-time high. It's 1 day closer, 1 second closer to an all-time high. It wasn't just a saying, dudes. I was saying we're 1 day closer to an all-time high during March when everybody was in panic mode, and we were, and we got to that all-time high in November or December, whatever it was. Marco, good to see you, Marco. Esquandola said, thanks for all your encouragement over the years. Strong hand. I started buying in 2016 and have never sold. Happy, dude. I'm happy to see you here, man. I'm happy to see you here. All right, dudes, that is the end of the show. We did it under 40 minutes. I'm an Meister, Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Subscribe to the backup channel if you feel like it. I would rather you use your head and just find me wherever I may be. I love people exercising their freaking brains. Okay, so few people think anymore. Pound that like button though, and I'm going running. See ya. Thank you all.